Brothers and sisters, I am not ashamed of the gospel. Can we all say that?
Brothers and sisters, I am not ashamed of the gospel.
I didn't mean it literally. That's good Catholic training. But I mean, can we all say that about our lives, that we're not ashamed of the gospel? If we're out in public and someone is ranting and raving about the right to choose whether you have a baby or not, and we don't speak up in some way, are we ashamed of the gospel? Or do we really believe in it, that it has the power of truth? The gospel reading's kind of interesting. The Pharisees are watching what Jesus does, and they see that he doesn't meticulously clean things the way that they do, and they call him out on it. And he tells them, you're being such hypocrites. You wash what's on the outside and follow the letter of the law, but look at what's on the inside, the hatred and the self-righteousness. I had a friend who was a rabbi, and he said, Pharisees get a bad rap in the New Testament. They're not all bad. The Pharisees were actually a group that saw that the church in Israel, the synagogues, were falling away from the Lord, turning to evil, just getting lackadaisical about their faith. And so they wanted to be zealous about the faith. And they thought that they could do that by adhering to every letter of the law. And the law is important, no doubt. But the devil has a tendency to take even a strength and overuse that strength and turn it into a weakness. And so their zealousness for the law of God got to the point where they were so meticulous about following the letter of the law that they forgot about the Spirit and the law that underlies all the laws, the love of God. And they were quick to not just call someone out for doing something or not doing something they should be doing, but they started to judge and got self-righteous themselves. Well, I'm doing all of this right, and I wash meticulously, and I do this and I do that. And Jesus said to them, look at the inside, how filthy that is. And then he says something interesting. He says, sorry, I lost it. He says basically to give alms and everything will be okay. Well, I'm not sure if he was speaking sarcastically. Oh, just make a donation to the temple or to the synagogue and all of your sins will be forgiven. Well, no, they won't. Not if you're giving without the right attitude. Maybe he was saying it sarcastically to turn their hearts to say, just because you give money or you offer animals of sacrifice at the altar doesn't mean all your sins are forgiven. Because your heart has to be repentant as well. Or the other side of that, if he wasn't speaking sarcastically, if he was speaking literally, then what it means is he was telling them to empty your hearts by emptying your wallet once in a while. To give up those things that you cling to, those positions of power, those positions of authority and respect, and those positions of wealth. To give that you can see what it's like to be a poor person. So maybe they don't have the money to do all of the things that you do. It's hard to say which reason Jesus had for saying those words. But either way, the message is the same. That whatever we do, we're called to witness to the Lord in our lives, but always to do it with love. And once we lose that love, our message loses its meaning. And the message that we present should be more so with our lives than with our words. But never to be afraid to witness to the gospel and the truth of God, even if the world around us thinks we're crazy or criticizes us or even attacks us. That we know that if what's inside of us is pure and clean and innocent and not judgmental, then when we speak those words to maybe call people to task, as sometimes the Pharisees did righteously, that if we call them to task but we do it in love, then maybe then our words will have true meaning.